I have an article from CBS News here that came out yesterday evening that I really want to cover, and it's just as you can see from the headline, HHS freezes all child care payment to Minnesota after viral fraud allegations. I have a lot to say about this. There will be timestamps in the description if you don't want to listen to me ramble. So I'm just going to get the rambling out of the way now. Let's talk about this before we go into the article. I want to make a few things clear. These people, the Trump administration, they they don't actually care about fraud. Yes, is there a lot of fraud going on in Minnesota? Absolutely. But it's not something this administration actually cares about on principle. And the reason why they're hyper focusing on this is it's a twofold opportunity agenda. One, they want to drum up more support for their deportation campaign. You've seen this with Trump's and a lot of Republicans just blatant racist rhetoric around the Somali people, many of them actually being U.S. citizens, and just, even implying that they want to denaturalize these people and deport them to a country they've actually never even been to. And two, a green light to further crack down on welfare spending. This administration has been cracking down on social spending since the beginning, since Doge. And this gives them a huge green light and a huge kind of public, almost like a mandate to continue doing it in a sense with how this is all being framed. Again, let me be clear. There is fraud going on in Minnesota, but like the fact that like it's indicative or it implies that all Somali people are responsible and should be punished, you're off your fucking rocker, okay? And let's be clear here. Like, all these people making a big deal about this, they're nowhere to be found when Trump is pardoning a new fraudster every week. Don't take my word for it. Literally, just go look it up. Look up the people he's been pardoning. Look up the crimes that they have committed and how much money they have flat out stolen. Rick Scott's a fucking, what is he, a senator right now? Or a House person? He's still in office. He committed like the biggest like Medicare, Medicaid fraud in like fucking history. Or better yet, just Google Trump fraud, and you try to tell me that all those dozens of cases of Trump clearly committing fraud, tell me every single one of them are fake and a hoax and a witch hunt. I'll wait, like, please. Now I hate doing whataboutisms here, but like, I can't stand fucking hypocrisy. But like, and you could say, but like, at least he's going after some fraud. It's like, brother, would you be okay if a gang leader was elected president and then they started arresting members of the enemy gangs for doing crimes, but allowing people within their own gang to continue to commit the same kind of crimes and arguably even worse crimes than the people they're actually going after and arresting? Like, would you like that? I don't like that. And that's essentially what's happening now. Like, and you can see it. Like, it's not a hoax. You can just do the research. You can just Google it. You can type it into AI. Like, for a party that like jerks off AI so much, you guys really don't know how to use it to fact check basic information. And let me be clear here. I'm in no way of defending fraud. We should absolutely prosecute anyone involved. And if that includes Tim Walz, if Tim Walz was some way involved in this or was just completely just a failure in cracking down on this, then he absolutely should be held accountable. And anyone involved should be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. And two, there have already been like multiple investigations into this, and there's still many that are actively ongoing. There's people that are being charged. Like, this isn't some unknown thing that some dipshit YouTuber that did you just found. Like, and oh god, like now that I brought it up, we really have to talk about it. But like, before we get to that, just know this was already like active cases, and these prosecutions started under the Biden administration. Number 3. While we're on it, Nick Shirley is a fucking idiot. He is not an independent journalist or an independent reporter. And every time Fox News, it's mainly Fox News that's saying this, like, I just want to fucking lose my mind. He's a conservative grifter who at multiple points in the video just implies that, like, yes, this is all Somali people. This is like, they're all in on it. Like, what? And then he had a comment randomly just out of nowhere in the video. It's like, just on the, the new Minnesota flag, it looks awfully like a Somali flag, doesn't it? It's like, are you stupid? Like, I don't use this word lightly. In fact, I don't use this word at all. But like, this is actual serious mental retardation. Like, I am sorry if me using that offends you. I'm sorry, but like, oh my God, what am I supposed to call that? He's showing up to these daycares with people wearing like ski masks and an old pervert pointing several cameras in their faces and being like, let me see the children. No fucking shit. They're not going to let you see the children. And they're like, why are they all blacked out? Because that's probably a fucking requirement. Like, use your brain for 1 second. Why would daycare center windows be blacked out? Oh my God. And at one point in the video, he like claimed that like the one Somali woman was being racist because he thought she said color instead of recording. He thought she literally said, because you're recording, of course, Somali accent, hard to understand. I get it. And pointed at the camera on his chest. And he's like, the color of my script. Oh my God. Oh, okay. Anyways, like, oh God, like, please wake up. Yes, there's fraud going on. But like, my biggest thing here is like this whole idea of just saying like all Somali people are a part of this or should be punished. It blows my mind. And it's ridiculous, man. Like, absolutely, the people involved should be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law, but to pretend that like all Somali people are involved and this is just indicative of normal Somali behavior, fuck you, man. You're just a racist fucking bigot. Okay. Wow, 7 minutes. I did not expect to go on that long, but I had to get it off my chest. Let's get into this article from CBS News. HHS freezes all child care payments to Minnesota after viral fraud allegations. So yes, because of some fucking right-wing dipshits fucking terrible report, like video and investigation on this, now all children and parents and families are going to be punished as a result. Like, oh, the Trump administration had to be so happy when this came out. They're like, yes, now we can cut off childcare funding to the whole state and crack down on our fucking social spending cuts even more. And people are going to be happy because fraud. But, when we increase the Pentagon budget by another $150 billion, no one cares. When we give another $8 billion to Israel, no one cares. When we fucking, when the Pentagon fails, like every audit from the last decade, no one cares. But keep throwing money at that. Oh, God. Okay. Anyways. The Department of Health and Human Services said Tuesday it has frozen federal child care funding for the state of Minnesota, citing viral fraud allegations. Deputy HHS Secretary Jim O'Neill announced the move in a post on X, writing that blatant fraud appears to be rampant in Minnesota and across the country. Yep, here we go. As I said at the beginning of the video, they are using this as a mandate to go further in the welfare spending cuts that, they were already doing. We have turned off the money spigot and we are finding the fraud, he wrote. O'Neill cited a video in which conservative YouTuber Nick Shirley, who I already talked about this, alleged nearly a dozen Minnesota daycare centers that receive state funds aren't actually providing services. O'Neill said the agency has identified the centers mentioned in a video and demanded that the state carry out a comprehensive audit of them, including attendance records, licenses, complaints, investigations, and inspections. CBS News conducted its own analysis of daycare centers mentioned by Shirley. All but two have active licenses, according to state records, and all active locations were visited by state regulators within the last 6 months. The analysis found dozens of citations for safety, cleanliness, and other issues, but no recorded evidence of fraud. So these places have been clearly looked at by the state and they have found violations. Now we can talk about those violations, like how are these places that are getting millions of dollars having like the most fucking like simple violations that they haven't like addressed. Sure, but to pretend that these are like fucking fake money laundering centers to funnel money to like the fucking jihad in Somalia, like get out of here, okay? A spokesperson for Minnesota Governor Tim Walz said in a statement, the governor has been combating fraud for years while the president has been letting fraudsters out of jail. Fraud is a serious issue, but this is a transparent attempt to politicize the issue to hurt Minnesotans and defund government programs to help people. Exactly right. Starting immediately, O'Neill said all payments from HHS's administration for children and families nationwide will require justification and a receipt or photo evidence before we send money to a state. The Administration for Children and Families sends some $185 million in child care funds to Minnesota annually, the agency head Alex Adams said in a video shared by HHS. Minnesota receives hundreds of millions of federal dollars per year to support its child care assistance program, which subsidizes daycare services for roughly 23,000 children from low-income families. In the current fiscal year ending in September 2026, the federal government's share of the program was expected to total $218 million, with the state kicking in $155 million, according to projections. The moves by O'Neill came one day after agents from the Department of Homeland Security visited dozens of sites in Minneapolis, part of what DHS Secretary Kristi Noem described as a massive investigation on child care and other rampant fraud. In recent years, Minnesota has grappled with a litany of alleged fraud schemes targeting the state's public assistance programs. Dozens of people have been convicted as a part of a scheme to bilk nearly $250 million from a federally backed child nutrition program during the pandemic, and federal prosecutors have charged people with defrauding Medicaid supported autism services and housing stabilization programs. Federal prosecutors have estimated that fraudulent payments made by Minnesota's Medicaid service in recent years could total $9 billion or more, a figure Wallace has disputed. I highly doubt it's $9 billion or more. I haven't fact checked this myself, but like, come on. Feel free to fact check me. Fact check me in the comments. There's your homework. The fraud issues have drawn the attention of President Trump, who focused on the fact that many, though not all, of the defendants are of Somali descent. Of course, like we have to mention race. If it's a bunch of white people, it's whatever. If it's a bunch of black people or a bunch of Somali people or a bunch of like insert race, ethnicity, whatever here, boom. Walz has defended the state's handling of the situation, but vowed to crack down on fraud. So this kind of unironically proves a lot of my beliefs and other leftist beliefs as well, I would imagine. A lot of things that we just doll government money out to, like random companies, that this is how the money ends up being wasted. Like, does that like mean we should stop funding shit? No. Like, how about we actually sit down and try to improve it? Like shit, like for the best thing you can do is shit like healthcare, childcare, anything in that kind of realm should be handled exclusively by the government and government employees. It removes all profit incentive and room for fraud. Like, some things should not be left to the market. Like, a lot of these fraud cases happen because these funds that are granted for various programs are doled out to fucking like actual companies and businesses that they can claim they're nonprofit, but we know how that designation normally fucking goes in practice in this country. And then boom, a bunch of shit gets wasted. There should be stuff like this important. There should just be no, like, the market doesn't need to be there. And if you can provide me an argument on why it should, go ahead. Like, I go for it. At the very least, if you still want to do this to where we're sending money to these grant money or whatever to various companies to handle the agenda here, then we should also, like, this wouldn't cost a lot of money in the grand scheme of things. And, we can create some jobs. Also, why not have, like, I know there's inspectors out there and auditors out there that do these audits, but why not, like, double, triple, quadruple, fucking quintuple the amount of auditors we have? Hire a couple hundred or a couple thousand. Make it so, like, for healthcare centers, daycare, childcare centers, those shit should be fucking audited like once a week. Okay, if you think that's excessive, like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, when it comes to healthcare, childcare, daycare, anything in that category, yeah, audit the fuck out of it. Like, it shouldn't be an audit like every 6 months, twice a year, once a year, whatever. Like, create a few jobs, relatively inexpensive compared to the overall money of the program, and just have people like keep this shit in check. If you're not willing to let the government handle this function by itself, and you just have to give that money out to various companies to do it, then at least keep them in check. Like, how's that so hard? Instead, like the Republican meta here is like, oh, there's fraud. Let's just fucking cut it all off. Let's just fucking turn off the spigot entirely. Let's cut funding to everything, even though like overwhelmingly that money is going to at least, helping someone. It's so frustrating, man. Like, people just aren't interested in solutions. They just want an excuse and to just cut more spending that actually helps people instead of addressing the problem. It's the same thing with like Medicare for all. You want long wait lines, bro? It's like, no, one, we already have long wait lines, and two, all right, then let's pair that up with a robust initiative to hire more doctors, do intensive studies and regional analysis to see what areas are lacking what specialists do we need to incentivize to train, and we can provide grants for. Like, there's a solution to almost every single problem that, but like, of course, because everyone's bought by fucking billionaires and shit, like no one actually wants to address it. That's all I have for this one. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below, and I will see you in the next one. If you made it to this point in the video, I just want to give a special thank you. If you enjoyed it, please hit that like button down below, and if you really enjoyed it, maybe consider hitting that subscribe button while you're down there. I want to hear your thoughts in the comment section. I will try to reply to any and all comments that I can. Until next time, watch that video on screen.